guys, today we're going to go over how to get into Airsoft. Over the last 10 years of working in Airsoft retail, this is a question that I get asked almost on a daily basis. How is, in my opinion, the best way to get into playing Airsoft? Now, there are a few scenarios, depending on how old you are. But the majority of people that are getting into Airsoft are quite young. So the best way I can recommend to the broader audience is, firstly, find your local Airsoft shop. Now, there are a few ways to do this. You can simply go onto Google and find your local shop and site that way. Or there are a couple of websites that show you who sells, distributes, and so on Airsoft products. I will put these websites in the description below for you to have a look at. Now go down to your Airsoft shop, your local Airsoft shop. Introduce yourself to members of staff and explain to them that you're looking to getting into Airsoft. Out of my experience, everyone will look after you and recommend the best products and bits and pieces to you, as well as give you an insight on what local sites they recommend. Sometimes Airsoft shops are also associated with Airsoft sites. Either they run them or they have a shop that they take to sites with them. Once you've got yourself some information about where is local to play, where is recommended, and so forth, get yourself booked on to the site. Most sites these days have a website or a Facebook page that has a website attached to them. And going on there, you can book on and make sure, if you haven't got your own equipment or if you haven't got a friend that you're borrowing from, that you are selecting the rental package. Now, with a rental package, depending on the site, but most commonly you'll get given a what's known as a RIF or a real imitation firearm, a high cap magazine, a bottle of BBs, and a mask. It is down to you as the player to bring the other equipment. So most sites will recommend you wear something like a walking boot or a boot that covers your ankles, some half decent trousers and t-shirt or hoodie. And going on further, I would also recommend taking something like a beanie or a flat cap, something you can put on your head to protect from impacts. Once you've played a couple of game days doing the trial or borrowing equipment from friends, I would then look at getting yourself some equipment. Most players will go instantly straight into buying themselves a RIF or a rifle, which is not what I would recommend first. The first thing I would recommend going into is getting things like a half decent set of boots, eyewear, full face mask, and clothing. Depending on the site that you play, you might end up trashing, ruining, and destroying sets of clothing just to go play. So it is highly recommended that you will go and get yourself something that will last. And I'll do a separate episode on what I would recommend people going into. Now, once you've got your equipment, there is something that you need to keep in mind in the UK, which is called the UKARA Act. The UKARA Act means that you have to prove that you are an Airsoft player to be able to buy something that isn't what we call in the industry two-tone. You'll see them around, but two-tone rifles are the mixture of neon or high brightness in color, half mixed rifles that you see in younger players or newer players. What I would recommend is rent your equipment until you can get your UKARA. Now, depending, and don't quote me on this, I believe it is you have to pay 3 times in 56 days. So 3 game days in 3 months is the best way to put it. Once you've got that, I would then recommend looking into something like a rifle or such. But until then, I would recommend holding off using rental equipment and spending a little bit extra money on the game days, just to make sure that you don't have to waste money buying a two-tone rifle to begin with. Now, as I said in the beginning, I will leave links in the description below with some more information on them. I don't want to make these episodes 20 minutes long explaining the in-depths of the best place to do so. I will just give you the pointers and where I would recommend going to, finding the information out yourself. So, thank you very much. This is the end of episode 1. I will continue the next episode on what equipment I believe you should purchase first.